crazy world. Then you got this thing, I saw you posted something, Steve, Rob, I guess it's the son?
I think so.
It was Rob Runner.
Yeah.
That was,
They
and his
think it
wife.
But his son.
Is the one that's
So they
correct,
arrested.
is what they think.
Oh, I know they said a relative was arrested.
His own
Oh,
son.
Ricky used
We're
to,
good? All right.
Ricky used to live in Maine too.
Huh?
His son used to live in Maine.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll call the meeting to order. Just for those who are tuned in online, we had a little technical difficulty getting the live feed up, so that was the delay, so we're just starting now. So join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next up is approval of the minutes of November 17th, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve those minutes?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion, corrections, additions, or otherwise? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the minutes of November 17th? It is unanimous. Next up is approving the roll of accounts dated November 25th, the amount of $107,175.92, and dated December 11th, 2025, in the amount of $401,849.24. Do we have a motion to approve those rolls as presented?
So moved.
Second? All right, any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving those rolls as presented? It's unanimous. Committee reports, do we have any committee reports? Not aware of any. All right. Administrative reports. Mr. Hurston.
Good evening, everyone. Since we were last together, a few updates from the elementary school. First being our first trimester ended December 1st. Report cards went home this past Wednesday, December 10th. I was just thinking this afternoon, it's hard to believe once we get back from vacation, we'll be approaching the halfway point of the school year. Time is definitely flying by. But there's been, our students have been working hard this trimester, and they have a lot to be proud of. As things finished up and as we get into the second part of the school year. This past weekend, our drama group performed Peter Pan Jr. So Thursday, that would have been the 11th, I believe, they had a performance just for families. And then Friday evening and Saturday afternoon was open to the public. They did a wonderful job. And that's a lot of time. It's about 2.5 months where they were working on practicing and rehearsing. So that's a big time commitment for our students. A lot of hard work that goes into it for the students, and our directors, Carrie Whitney and Stephanie Richards, did a great job with that group. And like I said, they did a great job with their performances this past weekend. So all that hard work definitely paid off, and they have a lot to be proud of for their performances this past weekend. Today we had our first student spotlight assembly for this next round. We had our 6th grade students having their assembly. We had four students, Jackie Subany, Jocelyn Pullen, Emery Fossa, Matthew Harrington, who were recognized. And then as we get into next week, actually, will be the remainder of our assemblies for students in grades K through 5. A few events this coming week, starting with tomorrow night. We have our chorus concert right here at the high school. I think it's a 5 through 12 production, but our 5th and 6th graders will be starting at 6 o'clock. I think grade 5 is at 6, and our 6th graders will be on at 6:30. And then Thursday evening will be our band concert again for students in grades 5 through 6 participating in band. That will be at the elementary school starting at 6:30 in the evening. Next Monday, we're looking forward to Mr. Clark and his high school band students coming over to the elementary school for a mini concert. We'll have 2 different sessions. And that's always a fun time for those high school students to come over and perform for our elementary students. The last thing, as we approach the winter break, we're going to go into that break with a few theme days at the elementary school. This Friday will be Hat or Fun Hair Day. Monday the 22nd will be Dapper Day or Orange and Black Day. And Tuesday before vacation will be Buffalo Plaid or Comfy Clothes Day. And that's all from the elementary school.
I just have something nice to say to you that I think this is appropriate to say in front of everybody, but my youngest son has had some challenges with his dysregulating his feelings. And so we have been interacting a lot. The way Mr. Hersom interacts with the kids and parents is incredible. And I just wanted to tell you, Gabe came home the other day. He spent some time in the office. And usually you don't come home talking about what a great guy the principal is when you spend the day in the office. But he came home and he said, Mr. Hersom's a real great guy. And that you helped him with an assignment. And I know you have a lot going on and you're going in a million different directions, but to take the time with the student that's in the office, to help them with an assignment as a principal, that meant something to him. And I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's all.
Sounds good.
Thank you, everyone.
Sounds good for the concert. I'm going to miss the concert.
Good evening, everyone. A couple updates from the junior high school. I'll start with a late start. Staff worked in groups last week to work on the activities and action steps that have taken place for the first few months in regards to our goals. I'm not going to report everything, but I do want to report our current attendance. So chronic absenteeism, we've talked a lot about that in our district. Ours was extremely high, in my opinion, last year. We're currently at 13%, which is impressive. It was 27, I think, 0.87-ish% last year. So
Wow.
It's still early, but kudos to our counselors, nurses, teachers, because everybody that does the things they do, all the action steps that it takes, the meetings, the letters. We're meeting with multiple parents and families right now, just trying to figure out how to get them to school. So all behind the scenes. So it's worthy of noting.
Can't teach them if they're not at school.
Well, that's just it, in academics, as you know. So progress reports for us came out just recently, so we're at the midway point of the second quarter, which is exciting and going fast. I'll echo some of what Tom said, and Chad, correct me if I'm wrong here, but tomorrow night we do have our chorus concert, so 6 o'clock here. I'll correct Tom, it's the junior high and high school auditorium, grades 5 through 12. They do stagger, so come celebrate that. On Wednesday evening will be 7 through 12 band concert, and that starts at 6:30, also in the auditorium. And to highlight our chorus and band students, on Thursday, the chorus students will be going to Lakewood Nursing Home to do performance for the nursing home, which is going to be really exciting and to kind of give back to the community. Mr. Clark will be doing the same thing on Friday the 19th, but they'll be at Good Rose Retirement Home. So the band students are going to do some pieces for them within the community, which is excellent. We have a PBIS trip on Friday. We've got approximately 50 students that are being recognized for respectful, responsible, and safe behavior, which is fantastic. Next Tuesday, the day before break, we are doing another career cafe, or Mrs. Hersom's rolling with the career cafes. We have law enforcement and government coming. Judge Nivison is joining us, our own school resource officer, a couple of others from the law enforcement field. And students signed up this morning. I don't know, we must have had 30 plus on the signups this morning. So kids are really excited about that topic. On that same day, we're also having a guest come in from Maine General, a nurse, to speak to the 8th graders about decision making. We figured the day before the break, let's just throw a bunch of stuff at them. So we've got a guest speaker talking about decision making with our 8th grade group. Fast forward into the January before our next board meeting, I did want to highlight on the 20th, our MMTC field trip for the 8th graders. I've talked a little bit about that each year. It's an opportunity for the entire group to go over and see just snippets of each program. So in a few years, many of those students will be participating in that. So that'll be in January on the 20th. And just a reminder, we do a winter diagnostic for math and ELA. So that'll be one of the tests is I think before our board meeting in January and one is after. So it's a good gauge benchmark midway point to see where students are at, another piece of data for us. So that's all I have. Unless you have any questions.
What time was that band concert Wednesday night?
6:30.
6:30.
Yeah, of course, 6 o'clock, band 6:30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I got several students to recognize, both here and at the Tech Center over the last month or so. Here at the high school, we had our Student of the Month assembly last week, and we recognized in the freshman class, Cooper Ruthier Starkey, Student of the Month. Sophomore was Brendan O'Toole, juniors Kira Bilodeau, and our senior Student of the Month was Lexi Reynolds. Over to the Tech Center, the Students of the Month, Michaela Carter for Criminal Justice, Ben Powell, CTE Academy, and Dawson Dutil was recognized for Information Technology. And we also had a number of students that got Work Service Awards alongside the Students of the Month over there. So Harley Raymond was recognized in Automotive Service, Kennedy Dumont, Restaurant Operations, Noah Whitman, CTE Academy, Zach Campy, EMT Basic, Jace Marks, IT Support Specialist, Avery Lowell, Network and Cybersecurity, Lucas Spencer, Broadcast and Multimedia Production, Patrick Lubier, Machine Tool, Nick McCann, Machinist Operations, and Julia Hortons in Pre-Nursing. So quite a list of students both here and at the Tech Center getting recognized for their work, which is pretty impressive for us. And that's what I have for today, so unless you have any questions, have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Preble. And one thing I want to highlight about, and I say this often when we get awards at the Tech Center, but if you look down through that list, and if you think about all the programs they have, about 2 students, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon, getting those work performance, how many were from Winslow? About half, if not more than half. So if you go per capita, it just shows one more reason why Winslow High School is the best high school in the state of Maine. Anyway, I wanted just to update everybody on our school goals that I presented about a couple of months ago. I spent a lot of time talking about different committees that were going to be formed to kind of move our school goals forward. When I did that, I talked about 5 different committees. One was attendance, one was positive school culture or school climate, one was teaching and learning, AI, academic honesty, and then the last one was our vision of the graduate. So just really quickly, just wanted to give you some updates on that. Our attendance committee has started meeting and researching and discussing best practices. What are other schools doing to help improve that attendance? Data is already showing a decrease in our chronically absent students to date. We're down to 22%, whereas last year we ended at 33%. So it's trending in the right direction. And we started recognizing students at our Student of the Month assemblies for wicked good attendance. And we look at our students, we'll say, okay, how many have less than 2 days of absence? And then we'll run a report. And I think last time it was like half of the student body was in that frame of, less than 2 absences. So what we did was randomly draw 10 students out of that. To recognize, and I've got gift certificates for McDonald's as well as 5 guys that have donated to us, and just randomly, and then I give the kids a chance. So it's just a way that we can, unfortunately, we can't recognize all 200, but a way to just keep that conversation going about this is what we expect, wicked good attendance. For our positive school climate, right now we're organizing student focus groups to provide feedback on their school experiences. Staff are working to come up with, what are some programs that we have that we want feedback on from the students, and then we'll randomly select students from freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors to have their own individual to give us feedback. In the past, this has helped us fine tune things. Back when we were doing flex days, we did flex days for 2 years. The first year was, we got good feedback from students on, what went well, what didn't go well, so that we could fine tune it for the next year. And then, but eventually we got rid of it because it wasn't working.
Which is a good pivot. that you didn't stick with something that wasn't working. I
Right,
think
right,
it's
and
really
you
great.
gotta constantly, and the
Yeah.
student voice matters, and that's
Yeah.
really what we want the students to know, like, your voice does matter. And, yeah. For our teaching and learning group, they're looking at how can we increase our parental involvement in communication from school to home, and they're looking at different strategies for that. As well as organizing peer observation and roundtable discussions where they can talk about teaching and learning and what is it that they're doing in their classroom or in their department and getting feedback from their colleagues. So really opening up that silo so that it's really a discussion across the entire building. And then talking about teacher collaboration, how can we have more of that to better the student experience? With AI academic honesty, you guys are gonna spend some time talking about a policy tonight. What they're looking at are, what are some different models that other schools are doing that help teach students responsibility when it comes to AI use in the classroom? There's a lot of schools that have already jumped on this ahead of us. So what we're doing is doing the research, what's working well in these schools, how can we adapt it to the Winslow High School experience? There's a big PD session coming up that Will and Michelle have been working on pretty much all fall. Technology at the end of January. And AI is a big topic there because that's what teachers want. That's what they've asked for. And the DOE is going to come in along with some other people to help us with that. And last, but certainly not least, vision of the graduate. We had to develop a new vision of the graduate that went along with our mission statement for our last NEASC accreditation back in early 2020s. But it's just been kind of sitting there. It hasn't become a living, breathing document yet. And we don't want it to be one of those things that's posted up by the door that nobody ever looks at. And if you look over by the door, there's one from 2010 that's still posted there that nobody ever looks at. It just became something that became there. And rather than just change out a document, how do we make that document so it's truly ingrained in what we do and our students are exposed to every single day that they're at Winslow High School? So the committee right now is reviewing that vision of the graduate. Is it truly what we believe as a community? And then how is it that we make students, we're leaning towards having students reflect upon that throughout their 4 years at Winslow High School. So how do teachers ingrain that into their lessons? How do they have students reflect upon it? And then that way, when students leave here in 4 years, they have this reflection log that it truly has become what has been taught, kind of that unintended curriculum, if you will, those skills, those things we truly want students to be able to do, to really be, not to just throw a term, but lifelong learners when they leave Winslow High School. How have we taught them that skill? How have they reflected upon that skill about being a good citizen, about being a lifelong learner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's, a lot, and we wouldn't be able to do all of that work if it wasn't for this committee. So I'm glad that the committees have gotten into place because it makes our work happen. It's not just something we say in the summertime and then next summer we go, oh yeah, we wanted to do that, but we didn't. It's actually moving it forward. The only other thing I had was what my colleagues have already talked about with all the concerts and everything band and chorus does this time of year, so I'm not going to repeat that. Mr. Briggs did have the right dates and times, so. Any questions? Thank you.
See a number of posts on college acceptances and so forth. It's
Oh,
nice to
that's-
see that.
This is why we do what we do,
Yeah.
right? And you see it. Colby College was here last week, just to provide an example, because they wanted to tell a student firsthand, it helps that they're across the river, right, and they can drive, but to see the difference it made in that student's life on that day when they came to just say, congratulations, you got into Colby, and here's your financial aid package, and all that. It was awesome. And if you go to Facebook and you see the picture, you can see the smile that's like from ear to ear because it truly, that's why we're here.
No, a lot of great acceptances on many different types of
Absolutely.
schools. All right. I assume there's no questions for Mr. Bell? All right, Christine?
I'll be really quick. Just an update on open positions. Hopefully after this evening, we'll just have one opening for the autism program at Winslow Elementary School. And we still have one opening at the high school for life skills. We did finish up our file audit and looks like we did pretty well. It's a 4-tiered system, the results, tier 1 being the best, tier 4 being the worst. And we fell right around tier 3, only about 1% of the schools in the state of Maine fall in 4. And that means we had fewer than 3 federal findings. We have 70% or greater participation in the state of Maine alternative assessment. And then I did have some corrections that had to be made and resubmitted to the DOE. And a piece of that tier is that the corrections were done and submitted on time.
Yay.
I know, that's a big relief. Still waiting the results on our fiscal audit. Since
Very
both
good.
of those,
Yes,
we gave me at the same time.
Given the
Good job.
amount and complexity of the work that's required for special ed, that's
Yeah, yes, congratulations, seriously, that's good, good news.
I will say that those who were here, who did the audit, were very complimentary of Christine and her staff and meeting with her and the crew. So it was very nice to hear.
It's a good team effort.
Yes.
very good. Any questions?
No.
All right,
Fine job.
thank you.
I don't really have much to add, except that the winter seasons are underway. Saturday was a great day. I got to see 2 basketball games, boys ice hockey game and girls ice hockey game. It was exciting to see all these kids playing. The one thing that kind of excited me was boys ice hockey. We have 7 kids now playing from 2 last year, so that was good to see. But I'd encourage you all during break, if you get a chance, go see somebody play sport. Thank you.
On the facilities end, we've been dealing with snow several times a week, but we're maintaining it. Later this week, we're supposed to be in the 50s. But all the heating, we haven't had many heating issues throughout the year. We're just dealing with small ones here and there, which is normal for a building. All the square footage we have to have some units go down, but no major failures. Everything we've been able to adjust and get buildings up and running. I mean, that's been quiet.
That's good.
Oh, that was a mistake. Never say that.
Knock on wood.
Corey very nonchalantly says, we've been dealing with snow several times this week. What he's not telling you is the snowstorms, the timing of these storms is everything. And so the crews have to be here extremely early to get things ready for when the staff comes in, and the driveways, the walkways, everything has been, Shelley used to say, make it a beach. And they're still taking care of things. It's very nice to see. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Very good.
Michelle's not here, but she did give me something.
Okay, and Michelle, we had left.
She's,
Before we get to that, this is gonna be yours. Did Will have anything for us?
Nothing in particular. There's items that relate to technology elsewhere on the agenda, so.
All right. So, you have Michelle's?
Yes, Michelle could not be here with us this evening, but she does have a document that she wanted to share with the board. And Chad alluded to this document. It is the January 26th conference sessions that have been put together. As Chad alluded to, Will and Michelle have been working diligently on this. And there's a document here that gives you the agenda for the day. You're invited to attend any of these sessions that you'd like to attend. And each of these sessions is broken out with a description, who is doing the presenting, where the presenter is going to be doing the presentation. And this will all be released to the staff, I believe, later on this week or the first of the year. One of the two, I'm not quite sure. It's going to be released electronically so they can sign up. It's something that Will and Michelle have been working on as well. And Will, if you want to say a few words about the platform that you've been working on to make this happen. John.
Yeah, well, I mean, the name is job form, but some of it is just to make it so that we can easily track how many people have signed up for which sessions and reduce that workload. So there was just some exploration there. What is nice about job form is that it does more than advanced surveys. And so we'll also be exploring this product to see whether we can utilize it in other ways around the district, such as just doing electronic forms in general for the community and other kinds of things. So while we're using a tiny piece of it, it does have other capabilities that we might be able to
Sports
leverage.
forms, that'd be great. Fill the same form out.
Yep.
12 times
With a
a
copy
year,
feature.
literally.
I think one of the important pieces to note here is that Chad made reference of the importance of student voice mattering. And this particular session on the 26th is as a result of a survey that went out to teachers asking them, what is it that you would like to have some information on? And some sessions that you can choose from. And AI, of course, is a big topic. And a lot of the sessions that you'll see here are a reflection of that. So I'm gonna hand this out to you.
And that's just for Winslow?
Yes,
Schools?
yes, it is. It's a huge undertaking because people have to sign up for sessions and I think there's only so much room.
It's an all-day
in
in-service
sessions.
day,
Yeah,
I take it.
it is.
That's cool. A great resource for everybody.
Yeah. It's
And to
quite-
pick what interests you, it's awesome.
Quite a selection of offerings. Very good. Looks like some really good stuff.
They won't start a podcast.
Yeah. Good.
How to start a podcast, anybody want one? Want to start one?
And who's presenting all of these? How many presenters do you have?
There's a variety of.
Oh, it says right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Some
Including,
are teachers internally, some are from the Department of
External.
Ed, some are vendors.
It's pretty neat.
No, it's great. And obviously, we have certain teachers that are very good with technology and always out there looking and. But, yeah, no, some great offerings there. That's an impressive effort to put all that together.
Yeah. And chair yoga. Yeah. Fun.
So, as he said, anybody from the board could attend if you're able. I'm not gonna be able because of the work commitment, but, anyway, very good. That was it from Michelle?
that's it.
All right. I guess we have a meeting.
44.9% of the fiscal year has passed, and we have accounted for 46.48% of the budget. If encumbered items are removed, I would bring it to 45.3 has actually been spent. And we are just starting the process of budget development for FY27. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that when we come back in January.
Very good. Any questions for Amanda? Pretty much right on track, so. All right, thank you very much. Peter?
I'll pass this evening, later on. Something to discuss.
All right. All right, next up would be public comment. We don't have anybody here from the public. So I will dispense with reading of the public comment introduction. For those that are listening online, the introduction that explains the public comment process is on our website. And you can refer to that for our process. And a reminder that anybody can reach out to us via email whenever you would like. So please do so. So that being said, public comment will be closed. Next up is old business. First of those is the second reading of policy JIH and JIHR, which is the rules, or excuse me, the JIHR, where is it here? Anyway, the procedures for that policy. This is the second read, so we've already discussed it once. First read, so is there anybody who'd like to make a motion to approve the second read of this JIH and JIHR?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Okay. Hearing none, all in favor of approving the second reading of JIH and JIHR? Unanimous. Next up is a second reading of policy IJNDD and IJNDD-R for artificial intelligence use. And again, second reading, so we've already had some conversation on this. Do we have a motion to accept the second reading of policy IJNDD and INJDD-R?
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion? I will say in the agenda, I don't know if you noticed this, Amanda, it's the second of policy, doesn't have the second reading of policy. I'm sure we'll pick that up for the minutes. Okay, there being no discussion, all in favor of approving the second read of IJNDD and INJDD-R? Unanimous. All right, next up is new business. So, first of those is 3-year interlocal agreement between Winslow, Waterville, and Bassboro for the shared services that we have with our partners.
Everybody should have a copy of that in your packet. If you have any questions as to if there are any changes, I can go over it briefly with you. This interlocal agreement has been in place for 17 years now. Ever since we formed an AOS, we started with this. The interlocal agreement has changed a little bit over time in terms of some of the services that were being provided. Some were eliminated, some are still kept. But essentially, this is a process for us to share services of certain individuals at a cost savings still as a result. And so the term of this particular interlocal agreement, they've all been 3 years. This would be extended it for another 3 years from July 1st of 2026 until June 30th of 2029. The purpose, of course, is to provide for the employment of certain administrative personnel for the provision of certain services of joint and cooperative basis. When you look at the services on that second page, it tells you who the individuals are that are involved in this agreement. You have a food service director, technology director, business functions in Waterville. The change there is that it will employ 3 payroll employees. They've added 1 individual. However, the cost is not going to increase as a result of that because a portion of another individual will be removed from the equation now that we have another one to help with the accounts payable portion. Transportation director, 2 secretaries shared amongst the parties. Winslow employs a maintenance director whose services are shared with Bassboro and Winslow. And Winslow also employs a courier whose services are shared among the parties. So essentially, when you look at the cost for this, you're looking at there's 9 people, and you're looking at a total cost of $949,000 for those 9 people. Our share is $327,628. That is broken down into a formula, into a cost sharing formula. It's based on 3-year average of valuation and 3-year average of resident pupils. There's a What you do with that is the valuation, and you divide that by 2. You take the resident pupils, you divide that by 2. So if your valuation is, for example, 21,467.25, which was our budget last year, divide that by 2, so it's 10,733,600. That ends up to an average of 33.23. That divided by 1046 is our percentage of 32.44 on the pupil side. So it still works well. The formula still works. It sticks right to the T in terms of how it's all working. And Waterville and Bassboro has brought this to their boards. They've agreed to signing on for another 3 years. We'll bring it to you this evening for your consideration as well.
We'll say on the cost sharing, we developed that 50-50 between student count and valuation. That's worked well for us. Other districts have done that. There's some districts who have not done that. Their split is calculated differently, and those districts have had difficulties. So, happy we have had something that's worked as well as it has for as long as it has. So,
has there ever been an analysis done of how much money this saves us?
There has. I didn't do that analysis for this evening, but if you just look at the positions that are there, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 potential positions that we would need if we were to remove from this, or some type of combination of people.
Yeah.
I think we're still ahead by a few $100,000 as a result.
So it probably costs us $500,000 instead of $300,000.
Correct.
Roughly. Yeah.
and as a whole, I mean, some of the places where we've changed this over the years and we've removed certain people from the equation, or we used to share the maintenance director with Waterville. It just got to be too much for one person, and it made sense to split that out. You got to get the job done, right?
Yeah.
But it's nice to have, I think, the scale of having the 3 systems makes it more feasible to have specialty, people that are, there's plenty of work for those people in those certain specialties that they can focus on things. And, your food service director is also not trying to be your maintenance director. You're trying to spread it out over too small of a pie. So, yeah, it's worked well.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving the 3-year extension of the interlocal agreement? As presented. All right, thank you. I assume you have a copy for me to sign.
Did we get a second?
You want me a second reading on that?
No. You did. I didn't even see that.
It's the 53. Yep. All right. Very good. Thank you. All right. Next up is reaffirmation of policy IMG, animals in schools. So we have this here when before the policy committee. We do have it as a reaffirmation. There was a couple of tweaks to it, but nothing substantial. Added insects and fish to it, just to be more specific and but not limited to, because who knows what little creatures might want to be brought into school. So we want to make sure we covered all the, I'm no biology major or zoologist, so I couldn't tell you what all the different species could be, but that's why we're not limited to.
Yeah.
And again, the superintendent versus the principal, because it's a unified school district policy. So, but other than that, it's the same thing we've been doing, and it seems to work. So, do we have a
So
motion
moved.
to approve? Do we have a second to approve the reaffirmation?
Second.
All right. Karen's on roll. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor of approving reaffirmation of policy IMG? It is unanimous. Thank you. Next up, we have an out-of-state travel request for boys boys ice hockey. There we go. Mr. Burgoyne.
On January 17th, the boys will be playing York. Our co-op boys hockey team will play in York. York plays across the state border in Rochester, so I do need permission to go down, just like I did with the girls about a month ago.
You need a motion for that?
This is in Dover.
Yes, because we do need to approve it.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of approving the out-of-state travel request?
Thank you.
All right, unanimous. All right. It's still closer than going to a game in Prescott.
Yeah, that was, they came down to play us.
You can go another state and get there sooner.
Maybe we ought to build our own arena.
Yeah, we tried that one.
We have more students.
I'm glad we're nice having us playing hockey today.
Yeah.
So, all right. Voter on appointments, we have 7. Do we have any additions to that?
Not that I'm aware of.
All right. It's good to see some names on here of former students coming back to help coach. That's always a good thing to see.
Make a motion that we vote on the appointments as one.
One group.
Second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor of taking the list of appointments as a group? Unanimous. Do we have a motion to approve the list of appointments?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
So reluctant.
You're right there. It's, yeah. A little sign.
Well, we don't have any other ones. Could I ask you to rescind your second and ask David if he'd like to make a second?
Sure.
Because it's your last meeting.
I will second it,
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I don't think we had anything else we had to vote on.
The adjournment.
What's that?
The
The
adjournment.
adjournment.
The adjournment.
Make a
Oh,
motion.
I'll let you do that. Yeah.
And all in favor?
So, all right, well, anyway, we have a motion, we have a second, by Jesus. All in favor of approving the list of appointments as presented? It's unanimous, very good.
Yeah.
Resignations, we have one person on here, Peter's already accepted that. Other business. So, since it is David's last meeting, I don't know of any other business that we have. I'd like to present this to David for his time with us and his time and efforts and willingness to become a board member and go through all the trials and tribulations of such things. So anyway, thank you. It's been good to have you. And wish you well. So, do we have any other business? Other business, I guess. All right. That's all we got, right? Okay. Next up would be an executive session. So do we have a motion to go into executive session according to 1 MRSA subsection 405-6A, evaluation of officials, appointees, employees, and superintendent evaluation and contract. Do we have a motion to that effect?
So moved.
So moved. Do we have a second?
David, you're up.
I'll second.
Okay, all right. We're on a roll now.
Pressure's on.
You can still have the adjournment later. So all in favor of the
Thought it
executive
was-
session?
Thought it was a coup just for a second.
No, you can say
No
that.
emotions.
We're gonna scare you.
So all in favor of executive session, okay, it's unanimous. So we'll be going to executive session, so
My question is, do you intend to come out of the executive session and take a motion? And do you want that to be on the live stream? So I should wait around to start up the stream again?
I don't think there'll be any motions except for adjournment, right?
Okay. So I will,
Shut
Yep.
down.
close out of this.
Have a nice
Extended-
holiday, everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy holidays, everybody.
you too?